All right, you guys are in for a treat. We're doing a special video, Quadfather Cooks. We're gonna try and make some peanut butter cups, clean, pretty much totally protein. I was down at the low carb grocery yesterday. I picked up some of this powdered peanut butter stuff, and I just mixed it up with some water, and I tried it with celery, and I was actually quite happy with it. It's really good. If I had to describe it, when you just mix it with water, it's like it actually tastes more like a traditional peanut butter, just like Kraft or whatever. It's smooth and it's like kind of almost like an icing. Like it would work good as an icing on something. So I'm gonna try that, and I'm gonna mix. I'm gonna try to mix up some chocolate with this Synth6. I'm gonna mix it up really thick, and then we're gonna layer it in these cupcake liners, and we're gonna do a multi-layer process and toss it in the freezer and see how that works out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of the Synth6 powder, and then we're gonna do 2 of this, and then we're gonna spread it out in these cups and put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes between each layer, and then hopefully we'll get a nice little peanut butter cup. It might be an epic fail, but yeah, let's see what we can do. Anyways, so I'm gonna start by making my chocolate sauce. So I'm gonna measure out just like 4 tablespoons of this chocolate. This is actually like probably one of the better tasting proteins out there. It's not that clean, or I shouldn't say clean. It's clean, but it's not necessarily like the best protein as far as like it's not pure isolate. They actually put 6 different kinds of protein in it, and the idea is to have like an active release, but it actually it tastes really good. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some stevia in here, hopefully to like sweeten it up a bit. But anyways, this is gonna be our chocolate. I may have to add more water, but basically, yeah, I just want to get like a nice thick, smooth consistency, so that once it freezes up, or once it's chilled, it's like a milk chocolate. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more water in there. Probably too much water now. Not too bad. Anyways, as you can see, I'm not really measuring things out accurately. I'm not using actual measuring spoons. I'm just using these tablespoons out of the cupboard there. Now I put water in my protein powder. Just gonna thicken that up a bit. Yeah, it's looking better. Anyways, that's kind of where we're at. It actually looks really good. A lot of guys actually eat this stuff just like this. They'll mix water in with their protein and they'll eat it like this, and it's just kind of like a pudding. They call it sludge. And that's actually a decent treat too. You can just toss some like peanuts in there, or like throw a couple blueberries or whatever. If you put this in the freezer for a few minutes, it's kind of like a phony ice cream. But yeah, it's good. So I'm just gonna put a tablespoon of this in the bottom of each one of the cups. Yeah. And then we'll toss that in the freezer for 30 minutes. And then hopefully we can put our peanut butter on top of that. Alright. This looks like cake batter or something, or brownie batter. Looks really good. It smells amazing too. So these are ready to go in the freezer. We're going to toss these in the freezer. Yeah, it's actually amazing. It tastes exactly like cake batter. So I'm just going to toss these in the freezer really quick, and 30 minutes, and we'll pull them out and we'll put on our peanut butter. All right. So our chocolate cups are solid now. Like a solid milk chocolate puck in the bottom of each one of these trays. So we're gonna put our peanut butter filling on top of them and see what they look like. So anyways, we're gonna do 4 scoops of this, add in our water till we got our consistency, and then spread it in there. So again, I'm not doing really accurate measurements. The key is to just mix it to the right consistency by adding water. I'm not going to add any of the stevia powder to the peanut butter because it's actually pretty sweet as it is. So yeah, you add 2 scoops of water for every, or sorry, 1 scoop of water for every 2 scoops of the pb2. But those were kind of heaping scoops, so I'll put 3 scoops of water. We're actually going to need another one. Load more water. And this is going to be our peanut butter layer. Still needs a bit more water. Let's just dump a little in there. Okay, that might be it. This gives you guys an idea what this is like, this stuff. It's a lot like peanut butter once it's mixed up. But yeah, it tastes really good too. So just mix that up and then try to evenly distribute this into these cups. And then spread it out. Do that one. Try and get the same amount in each one before we flatten it out. I watched one other video or tutorial about something similar to this, and the person added cocoa to their chocolate protein powder to get a little bit more chocolatey. I'm not a huge fan of the like strong cocoa-y dark chocolate taste. I'm more of a milk chocolate guy. I've got a cheap taste buds. They like the cheap chocolate. And okay, so I'm just gonna got my peanut butter in there now. I'm just gonna flatten it out, and we'll toss these back in the freezer for another 30 minutes. So that's that. You're gonna try to keep the peanut butter towards the center, so once it freezes up, the chocolate kind of gets a chance to go around the edges. I'll probably put more chocolate on top than I did on the bottom, so it completely covers up all the peanut butter here. It's softening up quick actually. The chocolate's melting fast out of the freezer. It's really warm here in Vancouver today. That's why we're inside with the AC on, and all this stuff is good. And all the windows closed. So, I'm gonna toss these back in the freezer. We'll pull them out in 30 minutes, we'll do the next layer. Alright, so I've just gone ahead and I've added my powder to this cup just to save on some time here. I'm just gonna add my water and stir it up for our final layer of our peanut butter cups. And looking good so far. One thing I was considering that will be a problem is when I go to eat these things, they're basically liquid at room temperature, so when you actually go to eat them, you're gonna have to be pretty quick or they're gonna be turning into this goo while you're eating them. So that's something to consider when you're making these, is they are temperature dependent. And yeah, I was trying to think of something like a solid food source you could like melt down or something and add to this so that they stay solid at room temperature. But there's our final chocolate topping layer. I'm just gonna put that on top of our peanut butter. These look like they'll be really good. Another problem, or another thing I was wondering was, are these gonna come out of the paper when I'm done? And will they peel out or not once they've been frozen solid? So we will find out. I'm just gonna put this last layer on, and then I'll put them in the freezer for a couple hours, and then I'll cut one in half, and we'll take a look at what's inside. and we'll do a final taste test. And yeah, so this is a pretty easy thing to do. When you're sitting around hungry doing a contest prep, you'll try anything to have a tasty snack. And if you can use sweeteners and you can use protein instead of carbohydrates and fat, anytime you can do that, you're gonna have a pretty good treat. I did realize after I started making this video that the Synthesix is actually not the best protein for this, because I didn't know this. Well, I did know this, but there's actually some carbs and some fat in that. It's a bit of a weight gaining protein supplement. It's not really it's not like a pure isolate or anything, so you may want to use just like your favorite chocolate protein powder that's like 100% isolate, and that's going to give you a cleaner treat. But yeah, this isn't something I eat all day long. It's like a treat, so like keep that in mind when you're making something like this. If you're doing a really strict contest prep, you may not be able to eat these. But anyways, that's where we're at. These look really good. We'll do a taste test later. Maybe I'll get one of my girls to do a taste test. You get a really candid review of the flavor. I watch a lot of people's cooking videos on YouTube, and I know what the ingredients taste like, so when they finally make something and they pull it out, they're like, it's so good. And you just know like they're off to the side spitting it out, or they're not finishing their batch. But I'll get my daughter to try it, and if she thinks it's good, then you know it's good, because kids can't lie. Alright, so peanut butter cup has been in the freezer now for like 2 or 3 hours, and as you can see, I tried to peel off the happy birthday cupcake liner, and I guess these are the ones that are supposed to go on the outside, and it didn't peel off. So we're gonna have to like scrape that off with our knife. I'm gonna cut it in half here. I'm cutting my finger. Let's show you what we got. Actually, it just peeled off right there. Anyways, you can kind of see. I'm trying to peel this paper away now. It's melting in my hand as I do this. But we got peanut butter and chocolate. There's no paper on this corner. We're going to do our little taste test. Oh, that's thick. That's really good. So we're just melting here. We're going to scrape this paper off while we're melting. It's kind of like a cold, it's almost like an ice cream bar. It's pretty good. It'd be nice if the paper would have just peeled right off, but I'll scrape it off with this. It's making a huge mess. It's just like melting on my fingers right now, but it's actually a decent treat. I would use a different protein source next time, a pure isolate. And other than that, that's like a pretty much straight protein bite. It's sweet and chocolatey. It's got that peanut butter in the middle. It's a decent treat. It kind of tastes like an ice cream bar treat. Something you get at the freezer section at like a corner store. Oh. Like a raised pieces like ice cream bar or something. So aside from me having to scrape all this paper off and the huge mess it's making, I'm like super messy now. It's a messy treat. Really good. Bit of a dessert. There's probably about 5 grams of fat in this, so I think there was about 2 tablespoons of the protein. Probably about 1 tablespoon worth of the pb2 in there, and other than that, that's a mostly protein. Probably like 75% protein. I would make these again. Probably worth it. I've still got 2 more in the freezer. My kids are sleeping, so they won't do the taste test, but I'm not screwing with you. These are actually good. Oh, gum. 2 chocolatey thumbs up. So it's kind of useless to make a clean treat video without kind of figuring out the macros, so I just added them up really quick here. I used about half a serving of the Synthesix in each one of those, and about half a serving of the pb2, so that works out to 4 grams of fat, 10 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of protein. So that's like just over 100 calories a pop, and 14 grams of protein is decent. That's not quite as much as like a Quest bar or something, but I'd actually say I'd probably enjoy that more than a Quest bar. It's more of like it's a good summer like ice cream treat, and yeah, a lot cheaper too. You're not paying like $3 a bar or whatever, $2 a bar, whatever they are these days. So give it a shot. If you guys have any questions about what I did, comment below and I'll try and answer them, but I think it was pretty self-explanatory. You could obviously change that up. It'd be kind of cool to like maybe throw some like pecans or some almonds or something in the chocolate. That'd be a pretty cool thing to try. Other than that, yeah, simple, easy, and enjoyable.